Jets lose 37-15 in a game they had just before halftime. 15-6. 3 minutes left in the half. 2 timeouts. Jets were driving down the field. Aaron Rodgers throws a terrible, terrible interception, forcing the ball to Garrett Wilson into triple coverage. Steelers ultimately end up scoring a touchdown on that drive. They come out of half, get the ball after half. Rodgers throws a nice pass to Garrett Wilson on the sideline. Garrett Wilson cannot catch it, hits him square in the chest plate, bounces up. Steelers score a touchdown after that. Game was over. Game was done at that point. The Jets are now 2-5 with arguably one of the best rosters in the NFL. This is poor coaching. This is poor execution. This is poor management. Jets would have to go 8-2 the rest of the season to have a shot at the playoffs. You just lost to a major competitor on a wild card spot in the Steelers. What does this mean for the New York Jets? Where do they go? Boys and girls, I'll have Ulbricht's press conference. I'll have Rodgers' press conference coming up here momentarily. Jets lose 15-37. Going to give you guys my thoughts. We'll talk about your thoughts. I'll go to the phone lines. We're going to give everyone about 2 minutes. Give everyone about 2 minutes to say their thoughts. Not going to go to the phone lines until after Ulbricht's press conference. I'll talk in the chat to you guys, give you my honest, raw thoughts. They got Devontae Adams too late. They're bringing in Hassan Reddick tomorrow, too late. You run into a situation where it is highly unlikely that you're going to go on a run at this point, given what we've seen so far from this team. There's been interest in star players from the New York Jets. Do you try to make a trade? Do you try to swap something out? Get as many picks as you can and just pull the plug? I don't think that's how the Jets are going to do it. I think they see Aaron Rodgers and they say, hey, look, 8-2. There's a shot. There's a chance. But as a fan sitting here right now, it certainly feels like this season is over. Jets have lost 4 straight games, all games that should have been winnable. Lose 1 point to the Broncos. Was it 3 points to the Vikings? You lose to the Bills last week. And you had the Steelers exactly where you needed them, almost going into half. And our best players continue to come up short. Aaron Rodgers throws a very, very costly interception. Garrett Wilson causes a very costly interception. This does not feel like a team that can compete for a playoff spot, let alone any type of conversation with the Super Bowl or anything like that. Doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it. Untimely penalties. Garrett Wilson had at least 2 false starts. Garrett had a really bad game. A really bad game. Rodgers with an untimely interception. I don't know what to make of it. Look, the defense is beat up. They're not getting better anytime soon. You got the Patriots this week, but doesn't really matter. You've now given up a bunch of draft picks, a bunch of capital that just come out flat. Brendan, bench Tyron Smith. We are over, though. Depressed. I mean, at some point, you have to consider playing Olu. It might not be till they're mathematically eliminated. But, man, that is ugly. Josh says, can't wait to see who Aaron Rodgers 8 blames when he gets to the podium. When will Jordan Travis be ready to play? I thought Jordan Travis would take a full off season to play. I don't think they're going to play him. I think as long as you have Rodgers and he's healthy, he'll wind up playing. As far as who was Rodgers going to blame, I don't think there's anyone. He was the major catalyst in terms of that interception that he threw. Garrett missing the catch at the beginning of the second half, causing the interception, equally as detrimental. That was a good throw by Rodgers to Garrett on that second interception, and Garrett just could not catch it. Tony says, Woody destroyed an absolutely perfect rebuild with this Aaron Rodgers disaster. No other quality offense is built the way the Jets are. Look, I understand going for Rodgers because you might think that Derek Carr might not be enough to get a Super Bowl. I like the swing. I thought Woody meddled prior to the draft to get Rodgers in here early. He's definitely meddled this offseason as far as getting Devontae, getting Hassan in potentially, firing Saleh without Douglas's approval. The team goes as it is led, and Woody Johnson stinks to high heaven. And if I were a Jet fan, I would not be paying to go to any more games at this point. Boys and girls, if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. If you're frustrated like me on all this bullshit that's going on and where the Jets eventually go from here, we'll try to figure that all out. I got Ulbricht's press conference pulled up, Aaron Rodgers' press conference pulled up, so I'll give you guys my thoughts before we go to the phone lines towards the next part of the stream here. I'll talk to you guys in the chat and give you my raw emotions, and it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Antonio, there's no reason to play him. Let him sit and fully heal his leg and learn, talking about Jordan Travis. It's like Garrett wants to be traded. I mean, there's no way he helped his trade value tonight. I feel like the Jets are just handing out free wins to other teams. It does. Jacksonville, Miami, Cincinnati, all cooked, and Denver and Indianapolis will come down to earth. Trying to have a little glass half full mentality here from Christopher. Brandon, do we try and hire an actual head coach this week? Nah, look, it's Ulbricht till the end of the season. It's Ulbricht till the end of the season. Ryan, for your sanity, stop making Jets content. Finnegan's flight crew. Finnegan, super frustrating. Glad I'm not fully relying on this as a career anymore. So very, very frustrating. Hunter blew up the defensive line over the offseason for no reason. Hard to win with bus lanes open up front. O-line, O sucks, but D is just as bad right now. Yeah, look, Douglas has to shoulder a lot of this blame. The D-line has not been fixed. Kinlaw's a failed signing. I don't care that you got Hassan in. We said it was too late, too little too late. Devontae Adams, it's great. Awesome. Now you got to win 8 of 10. Do we see the Jets winning 8 of 10? I don't feel like it's going to happen. Not with the way they've played. Aaron Rodgers does not look like the Aaron Rodgers pre-injury. Garrett falling way down to earth. It's frustrating. Mike D, I don't think this coaching staff is coming back. No, neither do I. And I don't know if Rodgers comes back. I don't know how this plays out, I'll be honest. If they have a bad season, they miss the playoffs, does Aaron come back? Do you go for the young offensive-minded head coach, or do you go for a coach that's been a head coach in the past, like a Vrabel? Try to not reinvent the wheel. 2002, 2-5 as well, says Pedro. Ryan Baker says 31 unanswered points. I'll be honest, I was so distraught watching the game, didn't even occur to me that it was 31 unanswered. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Andrew, they looked pretty good until the double interception totally fell off the rails. Terrible. Yeah, look, Rodgers throwing the interception and Garrett causing the interception was the flip that switched this game. It changed the dynamic. Chris F., in my 30 years of watching, I've never seen so much talent wasted. The Jets team makes me want to quit watching ever. They don't even give us hope in November. A-Rod, Devontae, Wilson, Hall, worth a shit. Yeah. This sucks. This is a really talented team, and to see this happen to us and us just not be able to do anything, I don't know the answer. I really don't. The players are underperforming. I didn't feel like we got out-coached. You got the fumbled red flag, and that's about it. Pedro, 2-5 ended, 9-7. We still got a chance. We're going to have to win 8 of 10, though. That's how it's going to have to happen. She never got rid of Jefferson, JFM, or Bryce Huff. They didn't try to get rid of Jefferson. They actually fucked that up, and I don't know if it was a service issue or a wrong number issue, but they tried to retain Jefferson. JFM or Bryce, yeah, they screwed up. Scored more points with Zach Wilson. We are fucking cursed. Yep. Ray, wow, I'm just numb. People, please stop spending money on this team. Yeah, look, I will not be going to any more Jet games this season. It is not worth it. Average Joe says, give me Rex Ryan at head coach next season with a beefed up D-line. Let's see what happens. Look, I don't want Rex anymore. I want an offensive, young-minded head coach. Score some fucking points. Sheriff, I think I'm done watching for the season. Not sure how they fix this thing and what does the future look like after Rodgers is gone. That's if Rodgers leaves. I mean, there's some possibility that he just wants to get another paycheck and continue to play and this not be his final thing. But this season certainly feels over right now. Ryan, you know what? I'm pissed off. But this offense is stacked. We're getting Reddick. The secondary should be healthy next week. We'll bounce back, guys. Schedule looking easy coming up. 10-7, a possibility. This does not seem like a team that's winning 8 of 10 games. This does not feel like a team winning 8 of 10 games right now. You're talking Rodgers throwing bad interceptions. You're talking about Devontae. Here we go. Presser. Sorry.
Didn't return. TA had the hamstring. Didn't return as well. X had the neck. Went to the hospital. And thank the Lord, he is the test came back negative. He's traveling back with the team. Huge relief in that. And then Ashton had he got put in concussion protocol. That game, especially that second half, that's not who this team is. It's not good enough, and that starts with me and the coaching staff, and it goes down to every single player on this team. We can all give more, and we will give more. We have what we need. That is not who we are. Extremely disappointed.
Jeff, it's 15-6. You're marching down the middle of the field. Obviously, you're thinking to yourself, hey, we can get field goal range here, kind of take control of this game. You get that turnover interception, kind of leads to kind of the turn ball. They get a touchdown, and then 2 series later in the second half, you get another interception. Just talk about how that kind of changed the complexion of the game. Yeah, going into this game, momentum we knew was going to be a big part of it, especially the environment we're playing in. And in these games, you can't give up those plays because it's just this huge shift in momentum. And if you do make them, you got to fight your ass off to fucking fix it. Excuse my language. We didn't do that well enough today. So this has got to be an opportunity that we can grow from and become the team we're capable of becoming, because that is absolutely not good enough the way we reacted to the adversity.
Did you feel, just to follow on that, did you feel that they didn't fight?
No, I felt like guys were fighting. I felt like execution was not good enough. I felt like We went into the mode of trying too hard, and sometimes that's just as dangerous as not trying hard enough.
I know you guys you didn't seem able to cover Pickens at all tonight. What did you see there? Were you just trying to find?
Yeah, the combination of him and Russ, it got the best of us. You know, we need to play it better and also need to provide more schematic answers and more help in those times.
I know you say that this isn't who the team is.
Right.
And I know you say you got to execute.
Yep.
I don't mean this disrespectful, but we're not talking about 2-3 games.
I got you.
We're 7 games into the season. You guys are 2-5, and it seems like the same things are happening every single week. So at what point does this become that this is what this team is?
If we accept that, then the season is lost. So we're not going there at all. We have high character room. We have the pieces capable of getting it done. We're just every man in there, coach and player alike, got to point the finger at themselves. That's what we have to do. If you do that, you got a chance.
I think Aaron played tonight.
I thought he played well, and we'll get back to the tape and take a hard look at it. But I felt like he gave us enough to win that game.
Do you feel like you guys wore down defensively with the injuries and just in the second half?
Yeah, we didn't play to our standard, and we'll take a deep dive into the tape and we'll identify what happened. Exactly what happened.
You had some good movement in the first half of the offense, and in the second half, what happened?
Yeah, they had some adjustments that got the best of us. We didn't execute like we're capable of executing. Our playmakers didn't make the plays that they're capable of making. And we didn't collectively, players and coaches alike, we didn't get it done.
What did you see from Aaron and Devontae in the first game together?
You could see the great synergy. You could see the relationship that they had and the same page that they're on. And at the same time, it's been a second since they played together. So, you know, as we go forward, I'd imagine that relationship and the production between those two is just going to go up.
One thing we really haven't seen much this year at all, whether it was Nate or now that it's Todd, is vertical plays. Like you guys really going 20-plus yards down the field. I mean, is there a reason? Is that just the way teams are playing you right now?
It's a little bit of both, absolutely. But we are, believe me, we are searching for explosives, understanding that they're a huge indicator for winning this game, and it loosens up coverage, and it does so many things for your run game. So we got to continue to look for the explosives and generate the explosives. And a lot of that is creating a consistent run game. When you do that, and you get guys starting to bite, then it starts to come to life.
40 passes, 40 dropbacks, and 15 runs. Is that the way you want to be?
No, it is not. We got to get our run game going. We got to run off the ball. We got to move people. We cannot have negative plays in the run game. You know, you're behind the sticks, and then it allows obviously defenses to let the dogs go a little bit, you know, and get after you. It just we didn't run the ball well enough. We didn't.
How do you evaluate Garrett tonight? And obviously he had a couple of mistakes that were costly.
Well, we'll take a hard look at it. You know, he made some exceptional plays as well, but we'll take a hard look at it.
Garrett Tucker isn't an Achilles, is it?
I'm not sure. They said ankle. That's all I know right now.
You guys went up 15-6. It felt like you were about to go in the half, feeling pretty good, and then the interception happened. How much of a turning point was that turnover?
It was big. You know, like I said, we did not handle the momentum swings well enough, and we knew it was going to be a factor here, especially in this environment. So we have to do a better job with that.
A couple more. Any optimism just getting a pass, getting a quotable pass rusher back on Monday and throughout the week?
Yeah, of course that helps for sure. But we got a lot of things we got to fix right now.
You think maybe a little bit too much Adams since he's only been here a few days, and you said they hadn't been together while he started and played most of the game. Perhaps if you could do it over again, you would ease him in a little more?
We'll take a hard look at it. I don't know. I don't know that yet.
Thanks, everyone. Aaron will be shortly after. Room is open.
Not the best presser from Coach 𝐀𝐟𝐼𝐥𝐢𝐚. We'll come back to the Aaron Rodgers presser as soon as that goes. Dylan says, I think my Sunday's just cleared up for the wife. Yeah, look, it certainly is frustrating to commit 7 years to this team. More than that. Look, I've been a fan since birth, but really since, knowledge base of or cognitive awareness since 5 years old. And in the 7 years of doing this channel, I have devoted a lot of time as well as all of you guys for hanging out and sticking with us through all this. And, man, it is frustrating. It is very tough to consistently try to come back to this team. And I'm sorry you guys have to go through it along with us. 25 says, ridiculous, season over, LMAO. Fuck. Brandon, that's not us. It is us every week. Won't change. I feel exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. I think Ulbrich gave answers that were, it was coach speak. I think there was certainly the playmakers didn't execute was probably like a direct stab at Garrett Wilson, which, look, to be fair, he shouldn't have dropped that ball. He caused the interception. Aaron Rodgers, Ulbrich didn't hold him accountable right there. He thought he played well enough for us to win. Playmakers didn't execute. I thought that was not the best answer. I don't think it was necessarily a malicious answer, but I thought it wasn't a great answer. I think if I were to say my assessment on this team, honestly, was the defense couldn't stop whatever they were doing on offense. And then Aaron Rodgers had the all-time worst interception possible when you had momentum in your favor. And Garrett Wilson dropped it. Gave them an interception. Gave them points. Those two players provided the spark to Pittsburgh that they needed. You take 14 points off the board. This is a much closer game, let alone the opportunity to the Jets to score 3 or 7 before the half. Rodgers took that opportunity away, and Garrett stomped it into the ground. Denzel, Jets are the worst franchise in North American sports. Tired of watching mediocrity. Props to you, Ryan, continuing to stream. The team is cooked. Denzel, thank you so much for the super chat. It's greatly appreciated. Literally, I am very happy for all you guys tuning in here and hanging out. And I am so sorry that I have not been able to cover a winning team for you guys so we can have some fun together. And even with getting Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Hassan Reddick and all the players, with an incredible offensive and defensive draft class, offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year a few years back, and the Jets can't figure out a way to get out of their own fucking way. It just really sucks. And you know what? I'm not going to get worked up about it. You're not going to see me throwing fucking shit, bitching about draft picks, none of that. I just don't care. I care, but man, I really don't. The energy is not there. Jets beat the Patriots next week? Okay, cool. Nice. Do it again. I'm sorry. The energy is not there for me right now. Antonio, when are we going to talk about Quinnen? All game, he was hardly double-teamed and was going against fourth-string center. He's fallen off a cliff. All these moves the last few weeks, too late for this push. Quinnen has not looked good this season consistently. I think that is a big product of the changeover in the defensive line. Both, not even just both, Rankins, Jefferson, Woods, JFM, Jermaine Johnson going down with injury. Huff gone. All had an impact on how this defense handles things week in and week out. I think there might be some impact from Salah being gone. I don't really know, but these players are good enough to have success, and clearly they are not up to the task. Rodgers included, Wilson included. If Douglas's job is safe, they will be sellers before the deadline. If Douglas's job is very much up in the air, I don't know how much they're going to be buyers, but they're going to be trying to win as many games as possible. 𝐀𝐿, does Sunday NFL ticket give a refund? Joke's on you. You probably should not have signed up for Sunday NFL ticket when the Jets have so many primetime games early in the season. It's a bad move. Bad move, 𝐀𝐿. Bad move. Brent says, so realistically, where do the Jets actually go from here? We have an interim head coach, a dysfunctional owner who makes questionable moves, and a washed-up quarterback. Is there any hope? Look, a lot of it hinges on if Rodgers is playing next year. I think if Rodgers plays next year, you might want to get an established head coach like a Vrabel. If Rodgers is going to hang it up at the end of the season and they're going to cut Davante Adams and they're going to trade off all the good pieces that they possibly have to reset the clock, then I think you look for Ben Johnson. I think you look for Slowick. I think you look for Clint Kubiak. I think there's a lot of potential options out there for the Jets. It's just a matter of what Rodgers does. I think Woody Johnson is going to try and talk Rodgers into continuing to play because at least it gives the Jets an opportunity to win it all. And you have young players on this team still under contract. So I hope Rodgers wants to stay so we have some optimism potentially going into next year. But it is hard to envision Rodgers being better next year, the Jets getting Davante under contract and figuring out the cap space because there's going to be issues. Going to be a lot of issues coming up. The wedge. We should have got somebody to fire. I should have got somebody with fire. Baker Mayfield. I loved me some Baker. I don't think that was realistically in the cards. I think it was going to be Derek Carr or Rodgers 2 years ago, and I think Rodgers was the right call. If you wanted to win it all, I think Rodgers was the right move. It was a gamble. It didn't work out. And the injury stole a season from us last year. Maybe we could have had the rough patch in year one of Rodgers, and then this year could have flown a little smoothly. Does Rodgers come back for 2025? That's going to be the big question moving forward. Is there going to be an Aaron Rodgers year 3 with the New York Jets, or is he going to hang it up? If he's going to hang it up, Davante Adams is going to get traded, or maybe not traded. He's going to get cut for the salary cap purposes. Rodgers is going to take Jets are going to take a big dead cap from Rodgers. They're going to split it over 2 years. Maybe you'll let Jordan Travis take the reins next year. You probably end up trading Garrett, realistically, if this season ends up being over. I don't think it's going to happen at the deadline, but I think Garrett gets traded in the offseason. Jermaine, going to be on this team long-term. Sauce, I do think because of his marketability, even though he hasn't had a great year this year and he doesn't really cause turnovers, I think Woody's going to pay him for his marketability. Brees, I think they wind up either letting walk or trade because of Braylon Allen. I think they have an opportunity. But it all hinges on Rodgers. Look, if Rodgers wants to play next year, Davante's going to come back. Brees is going to be back. Lazard and Garrett and all these guys are going to be back next year. It all hinges on what Rodgers wants to do. We decimated the D line, letting Huff and JFM walk. Huge mistake. I don't think Reddick fixes anything. No, I agree. I don't think he does either. Brandon, you're talking about Rodgers coming back next year. You have you already given up on 2024? I have no optimism of this Jets team winning 8 of 10 games. I think you got to get to 10-7, and I don't think the Jets are there. This is me feeling raw emotions right now. Who knows? Maybe we fucking go on a rampage and we beat the Patriots, we beat the Texans. And then if you beat the Texans, now you're feeling a good sense of like, all right, we got this. We're starting to click. You got to go 8 of 10. 8 of 10 after going 2-5 feels like an insurmountable amount to overcome. So yeah, I'm feeling a little upset right now. Boys and girls, we're going to go over to the Aaron Rodgers press conference as soon as it goes live. Wild Wave says, I'll trade Sauce and Garrett. Look, I would understand if you could get between the two of them 3 first-round picks, maybe 2 second-round picks, I could understand the trading. It sucks, but I could understand it. Gee, Espada. This is such bullshit. How do we not see through the bullshit of Rodgers coming here for a New York paycheck? He gave back money. I'm not going to give Rodgers shit for that. He has underperformed this year, and he may very well be cooked, but I can tell you for a fact he did not come here for the paycheck. I think he came here because he thought he saw a young team with a lot of talent in a major media market that he could further his own brand as well as win a Super Bowl and be considered the hero. You're never going to catch Brady based on the amount of Super Bowls he's won. You're never going to catch Manning. But having the opportunity to win a Super Bowl in the biggest city for a team that's been downtrodden for the longest time, we would have built statues for you. So I don't blame Rodgers for this. I blame Rodgers for the play, but it's not for coming to get a paycheck. Josh says 22-15 combined record of our opponents thus far. Next 7 opponents are 20-27. Colts, Texans, Seahawks will destroy us, says Josh Sorensen. Look, I need the Jets to prove to me that they can score points consistently and they cannot shoot themselves in the foot consistently, because I have a very hard time trying to be optimistic with the way this team has continued to play and with the effort put forth from our best playmakers. That's Quinnen Williams, that's Aaron Rodgers, that's Garrett Wilson, Sauce, you name it. Big-time players coming up small in big moments. Sauce had a bad penalty that got them down the field, got taken off the field because of an injury. Not necessarily his fault, but what was it, a 40-yard penalty that he had? Good teams don't lose games like this. Mike Mack just bought tickets to the Colts game a couple of days ago. I'm just going to take the land, not put myself through the torture. Empty seats is what they deserve. Look, try to sell them. Try to get some money out of it at that point. I don't know who's going to be buying your ticket because this team's not worth the money right now. Rodgers won't do anything. He'll be older next year. There's points where I don't think Rodgers is washed at all. I really don't. It was a bad decision. All right, we're going to Rodgers presser right now. Sorry, we'll get back to this.
Aaron, at 15-6, when you guys are driving there, what happened on that pick there? What did you see there when you tried to pick Aaron?
Yes, it was a bad throw. I should have just dumped underneath that play. For whatever reason, just changed the entire energy, changed the game.
Aaron, how do you, I guess it's a little bit of the big picture, but I can't imagine you imagined starting the season 2-5. And when you hear that record, considering the players you know that are in that locker room, what goes through your mind? How do you assess it? How do you process it?
Yes, it's been a rough stretch since we played so good on Thursday night. We've lost each of those 4 in different ways, but we got to figure it out. Obviously, we added 2 big-time players to the locker room. One's here, one's coming Monday. So, everything's still right in front of us. We got to somehow keep the belief in the locker room and start a run. You can't win 10 in a row unless you win the first one. So we got to be very critical of ourselves, each of us individually, tomorrow, and then come in with the right attitude all week and go to New England and get a win.
How do you get everybody to keep the belief in? It seems like a lot of the same mistakes.
Stop listening to you guys. Number 1. Number 2, got to be accountable. I got to play better. That's the key.
I got to play better. We got to find a way to run the ball better so we can action pass. I thought did some nice things in the passing game. Brees obviously had a couple of really nice ones. Spread the ball around to Tay, G, and Allen. Mike had a nice conversion. But we got to run the ball better, and I got to play better.
How much by not listening to us? What do you mean by that specifically? Just in terms like reading the press clippings about being really good, is it something like that? I mean,
yeah, all of it.
Even though you've had 8 years of history with Devontae, is there still, did you feel like it was more of an acclimation period than maybe you thought, coming into the game?
No, I threw a wide one to him on the first one. He kind of stumbled on the deep cross. Other than that, I felt like we were on the same page.
When you felt the momentum switch there with that pick there, how difficult is it to get that back?
Shouldn't be that difficult. I just felt like the energy, and it starts with me, the energy, for whatever reason, at halftime was a little flat. I felt like it was flat before the game, too. Sunday Night Football. So I got to look at myself and what I can do to bring better energy, but we all got to do better.
What do you see in the run game right now? I think it was 15 attempts today. I don't know if that's a product.
It seemed that there was a lot of contact on our side of the ball, so I'm not sure if we were mistargeted or just not winning the one-on-ones. They have a stout D-line, but we did some really good things last week and just didn't carry over that momentum this week.
Ulbrich talked about you guys not handling adversity the way that you wanted to. What goes into handling it better?
What goes into handling adversity better? Just being a great competitor. There's going to be some ups and downs, some tough moments. You gotta keep doing the little things. That's what it comes down to for us. We just don't do the little things well enough, consistently enough, myself included.
Garrett was pretty hard on himself when we were just talking to him about the pick that he dropped. Did you say anything to him, or what can you do?
I said I'm going to come back to you. He's a dynamic player. We need to target him. And obviously nobody feels sicker than him about that play, but he's a dynamic player.
We were talking to Devontae. He had made a comment that at times when you look around the huddle and you see how much talent's there, and you're like, wow. Do you feel that because you guys know how much individual talent you have, that guys are relying too much on what the expectations or what you expect you can do instead of actually doing it in the moment?
I don't know. I hope not, but I don't know.
Aaron, you talk about adding Reddick and you added Adams. How do you take all that talent and make it into a team, not not a talented roster?
Well, it's a belief. You gotta have culture changers in the midst of the talent to steer things in the right direction. And there's a lot of us leaders that try and do that week to week, but it comes down to each individual making the right decisions during the week preparation and going out and playing as well as they can and trusting each other. I've been loving what the messaging that Bricks brought to us, and we had 3 great speakers last night at the team meeting, and the energy seemed really good, but for whatever reason today it just kind of seemed a little flat in warm-ups. Sunday Night Football on NBC, our only show on TV. I live for these games, and I just don't quite understand why the energy was a little bit flat.
Your energy, Aaron? Your energy and the team's energy, you're both.
Oh, no, I love playing. I love competing. For whatever reason, sometimes there's moments where you feel like the energy's great, the energy's kind of medium, the energy's a little mild or flat, and kind of felt it. Anytime that happens, you try and directly infuse like some energy and conversation to get things going. And then I felt like once we started the game, we had good energy, and then that shitty pick I threw kind of after that, I just felt like the energy just kind of dropped off for whatever reason.
You mentioned the speakers last night, outside speakers or people internal from that?
Guys on the team.
Yeah. Aaron, since you've been with the Jets, we've talked about recent history, and you kind of watched it last year so far. There's been a feeling here sometimes before the season starts getting away from this team, and it's here we go again. How do you avoid that? You guys have now dropped 4 in a row, 2 and 5. It feels like they're at a pretty critical point in the season.
Just got to win. Starting this week.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Aaron.
That felt like a damning press conference, and I don't even know who it was directed at. He had complimentary thoughts about the coaching staff and about the individual players, but the energy, he mentioned the energy over and over and over again coming out flat, and I don't know why. It feels like he's trying to pass off blame. Oh, I'm always excited for Sunday Night Football. He took the blame for the interception. I'll give him that. But it very much, to me, felt like the energy was just flat. Like, it's not how I played or how the offense performed or how individual players did. He mentioned accountability, but to me, it felt like there was a little bit of a cop-out there. I don't know. I'll be honest, listening to him, it doesn't sound like he's interested in retiring after the year. There's still a lot of games left. There's still got 10 games left. But it felt like he's very much irritated and wants to continue playing. Understands it was a bad interception. Says Garrett doesn't, no one hurts more than him for that particular interception or bad play. Man, it's just across the board a very tough situation to deal with. I'm going to allow Nightbot to start posting the link in the live chat. So let me get that going. Nightbot should start posting it now. If you guys would like to call in, you're more than welcome. I'll get your thoughts on the game as well. I will be talking to the chat. DeWedge says 2-5, undue biddably leads 2-15. Go Jots. All right, let's go to Mike. Let's see what Mike has to say. Boom, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, I'm not going to yell or scream. I don't have the energy tonight. I'm sorry, guys, on that one. I don't want to talk about the season being over. I don't want to talk about draft picks, none of that stuff, because you're going to discuss that later on in the year. I want to talk about the culture. That's why we lost this game. 15-6. The second quarter, you have 3 minutes left. This game should have been over. You go down the field, you score, you get ball back at half, you score. This team doesn't know how to kill. They don't know how to win. They don't believe they can win. And that's why Pittsburgh came back and won. Because the minute Pittsburgh got that spark, that little bit of spark, they crushed us with it. They took it and they ran away with it. It's culture. It's a mentality this team doesn't have. When he's talking about energy and all that stuff, it's just a soft team in my mind. And that's like, he's kind of like, it's just like, it's a bunch of good players who don't know how to win. And Garrett Wilson and those guys have forgotten how to win because this losing culture has enveloped them like it does every other generation of talent that we bring in who just can't figure it out. You had the game won. You go down the field, you score the touchdown or do 2 field goals, it doesn't matter. But you threw the interception, then the very next drive with 3 and out, then they kick the field goal, they take the lead, and then you throw the interception. That's the fucking game. It's every time. I hate this shit. I'm going to be with you the whole rest of the way, but this is like one of those games where you have it. And for the first time, you get the lucky break on the field goal. The refs are actually going your way. You got that call in the beginning for that 15-yard penalty. Things are looking good, and you'll waste it because that's what this team does. Breece Hall was the only one who actually played good, and he got the least amount of chances to. And that sucks because he's been the guy we've been all harping about. He actually had a decent game. He made guys miss. He did shit. But Quinnen Williams, Garrett Wilson, they've been so freaking disappointing. I know I'm going to get booted, so I'm letting it go.
I appreciate the call, Mike. You've been ejected from the cockpit. I've got Cooper on the line. Just to address some of Mike's points, I completely agree. That's a really good way to put it, saying that the Jets don't know how to win. This team is a lot of talented players that can't figure out a way to win. And is that a new head coach that has been a head coach before? Do you get Vrabel in here? Does that teach you how to win? Is it a Bill Belichick? Does all of a sudden that become more of a thing? If Rodgers wants to come back and they're saying, hey, look, we'll throw the bag at Billy B. Maybe that becomes more of a realistic situation. I I believe he's the most winningest coach of all time. I don't know if it's highest win percentage, but I'll be honest, Woody being 79 years old, I could totally see him going after Bill Belichick. As much as that makes me sick, I could see it, and it'll be the same fucking bullshit that we go through this year, or it'll be like cyclical fucking Groundhog Day bullshit. Fucking God damn it. We're going to go to Cooper and then Reekin Devil. But first, Latif says, so we fire Salah. I'm not saying he should be the head coach, but the players need to lock in at this point on these L's are on the player. Yeah, look, I don't think Salah was the reason for the losing. I think he was the scapegoat for sure. I think Hackett was a major problem, but the players haven't executed. There's been players dropping balls. There's, Rodgers has played poorly at games or at times specifically. And you can't, as a coach, you can't control a false start. Garrett had 2 false starts today. Sauce had a bad pass interference that cost us 40 yards. Just sucks. At some point, it falls on the players. And I think Mike was right with that last call saying the players don't know how to win. And that could definitely be on coaching. All right, let's go over to Cooper. Let's see what Cooper has to say.
Testify, man. Just testify. Damn it! It's
Bastards!
so frustrating. So frustrating.
Where do we go from here? What's the plan?
I appreciate the late night stream, though, man. I appreciate you staying up late and doing this. Oh,
of course.
Gosh. Damn it! Come on. Just one game. The worst part about it is, if we started the whole season right playing like this, then at least we'd be like, well, we suck. But we play the Patriots and we look good. And then every other game, it's just been, oh my gosh, it's like trying to get my toddler to listen. It's impossible for this team to do just basic things.
It's consistent. It's 10 years. 15 years we've been doing this now.
Yeah.
It's crap.
It's absurd. So the one thing I wanted to ask you is, I follow hockey a lot, and you just look at the Arizona Coyotes, right? And they leave, come to Utah, and then all of a sudden they start winning. The locker rooms are revitalized. Now, I'm not saying let's move the Jets out of New York because that would make me want to cry. But do you think getting a new building or a stadium or something would change something? We've got to be cursed. We've tried everything. I don't know what else the Jets can do.
I don't know. I think Namath's just got to go. It's what it is. It's got to be the curse at this point. I got no idea. I don't have a good answer. We've got all the pieces. You got to add a good coach next year, I guess. But it doesn't seem like Rodgers is ready to retire. I'll say that much. But it just doesn't feel like this team knows how to win. Mike was saying that earlier, and I'm kind of in complete agreement on this. Doesn't feel like we know how to win.
Me too. Yeah, we got to find something, because if every week's going to be like this, being a Jets fan is just going to be hell going forward.
Dude. Cooper, completely agree. Incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. We're going to go over to the phone lines. We've got Reekin Devil, then Zach, then I Miss Mark Sanchez, and then Daniel. So, guys, hang on the lines. I do want to acknowledge Mumtaz, a super chat. He says, should we not be sellers now and ensure we can compile max resources for next year? Also, once the field goal was missed, it took the wind out of the D as well. Look, I think as long as you have Rodgers and you're mathematically alive, I think it's very hard to give up, because you still have a shot, as small as it is. I do think that you have to take a long, hard look and consider trading away key players. If you beat the Steelers and you beat the Texans and all of a sudden you are at 4-5, maybe you make a change of heart, because I believe the trade deadline, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the trade deadline is after the Texans game, the Tuesday following the Texans game. I believe that might be November 5th. If that's the case, I think you ride it out until that Texans game, and then you start making trades after that if you have to. I think you have to find a way to win. And you know what? If the Jets wind up 9-10 or whatever, that might be a best case scenario at this point. Let's say you win 7 games, 7-10 or 6-11, whatever it is. What does this team look like next year? Is a massive question mark. But I don't think, even if you're still in it at the trade deadline, I don't think you move the pieces because you owe it to the team to try and win it all when you can. I just don't think you give up additional resources, even if that's mathematically a tall task, we'll say. All right, let's go over to the Rican Devil. How you doing, dude? That's the wrong one. Let's see. Post-game duo. Here you go.
Are we here?
There we go. I'm losing my damn mind. What's going on?
I am too, brother. Hey, the Yankees are in the World Series, so I have that going for me, baby.
Glass half full.
Yeah, half full, half full. The other glass, man, it's not looking good. Man, it's so disappointing, dude. I've been a Jets fan for so long. I don't know how long I can do this, and the energy that Rodgers was speaking of, I can relate. In every football game, something is not going to go your way, and it seems like with our team, when something doesn't go our way, the wind just gets cut out of the sails, And I mean, I watched the Chiefs Niners game today. Things did not go the way for the Chiefs the whole game. I mean, they had a bunch of calls that were kind of botched. Mahomes threw 2 interceptions.
Yep.
They won the game. Don't let those things take the juice out of you. I don't want to talk about rebuilding because God bless, man, we got good people on the team, man. We've got great talent. We, by all accounts, we should be kicking butt and taking names. But if we're gonna let little things like that just take the juice out of our sails, you know what I'm saying? I know we had some people get hurt today. We're playing football, guys. And if I can watch 31 other teams have the same trials that we have and not lose, it's painful, bro. But I'm glad I could share this pain with you.
Oh, dude, I'm glad you guys are here to at least talk this through with. But how do you change that energy? Like, do you think it's like maybe it's not this season and we're trying to go for a new coach next year? To me, hearing that from Rodgers feels like he's, 1, not ready to retire, and 2, feels like you need a proven winner, which sort of leads me to either a Vrabel, which I would prefer, or a Belichick, which I don't really want to see, but I could see Belichick and Rodgers teaming up next year and Woody trying to give it all at 80 years old, just trying to win it.
I don't think Belichick would join us on account of his just disdain for our organization, not our players. Not, he spoke highly of Robert Saleh in his last podcast. He was quick to critique our organization. But I do feel like we can keep Ulbrich as a defensive coordinator. You can see that it's affecting our defense and having him in the position that he's in. But I don't know, buddy. I think we gotta stay the course, bro. I know this pain is tough. I've been doing this a long time. You have too, brother. We got to stick it through. We got to share the pain together.
Dude, I appreciate you being here. I hope we can have some success. Rican Devil, thank you so much for the call. I've got Zach, then Daniel, then I miss Mark Sanchez, then LA Jet Fan Dave. Rafi comes in with the super chat. Thank you so much. Says, dude, I'm sick and tired of this team. How many times can the Jets do this to us? We spend time and money on this godforsaken franchise. Enough. I'm done spending money on tickets or jerseys. Yeah, look, I'm very unlikely that I'm going to another game this season. It's just not worth my time. I'd rather spend it with the kids. I'd rather spend it with the wife, or at home, talking to you guys, like at least that's like, we're sharing the misery together. I can't give this team another dollar of my time at this point. Juan says Woody should sell. I don't trust him to put the right people in place to fix the team. And look how it worked for the Lions when they changed ownerships. Yeah, look, there's a little bit of luck involved with it. I think. I do think Woody is a major problem here. I think some type of energy. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the players thought they were too good. Their individual talent could have overcame coming together as a team. But this really sucks. This is a really shitty feeling, knowing you have as much talent on this team as you do, and it's just going to be for naught. You're going to win 7 games this year, 8 games this year. They haven't given me any reason to believe they're going to turn this around at all. Kenny says, go Steelers and go Russ. Kenny Wood, you can just go get the flock out of here.
That's it. You're out of here.
Done with you, Kenny Wood. Thanks for the 5 spot. All right, let's go over to Zach. I want to hear Zach's thoughts.
Hey, how we doing? Now we're on our way home. Thank you for doing this, keeping me awake. The vibes were good. We had a lot of fans show up, but after that turnover by Wilson, we were dead. I don't know what's going on. Also, a lot of penalties too. The Sauce one was killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just some observations was like, hey, CJ Mosley's not out there a lot. They're running a lot more corners and stuff, but that's all I've seen. And then just not productive, and I'm disappointed. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like our secondary is so toast. Like, obviously, Sauce went out for a little bit. You lost Clark. Adams is dinged up. No Reed, no Carter. Like, this defense is a shell of what it was coming into the year, and definitely a shell of what it was from last year.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like after the Garrett Wilson interception, it was like, it's just not going to go our way. Like, and it felt like the energy was just sucked out. I know that's when I felt it kind of come out of my sails. Yeah. What do you think what happens? Is it the players that have to figure this out? Is it a coaching, it's just, hey, we got to wait through this season? What's your thought process?
So I was talking to some people. We all thought, yes, some accountability could be taken care of, but we all thought as coaching, they have a better coaching staff or a lot of missed tackles.
Tomlin's a much better coach than we have.
Penalties, and that's all coaching errors. A lot. I know a lot of mistakes were on coaching. I think.
Yeah, I don't know how we turn it around. I really don't.
But you see them showing
Zach,
up, doing their job.
thank you so much for the call. You have been ejected from the cockpit. We've got Daniel. I'm going to go over to Handicart Mexican first. Yo, for real. From all of Steeler Nation, good game. Hope you all have a good rest of the year. Yeah, look, I hope you lose a few games. So it gives us an opportunity to get back into this. But, man, look, Tomlin's a good fucking coach. I'll say that first and foremost. I have always very much liked Mike Tomlin. And him switching to Russell, I don't know if it would have mattered, but clearly a good decision. You guys obviously put up 37 points when I think you guys were averaging about 21 or 22 points a game. You guys weren't doing well. We weren't doing well from a scoring perspective, and you guys put up a lot of points. I think Aaron Rodgers throwing that interception at half was absolutely the backbreaker. You're calling that at least a 7-point swing, if not a 10-point swing, assuming you get into field goal range with plenty of time. Garrett getting the interception after half, or causing the interception after half, backbreaker. Sauce having the penalty deep downfield. I think that was a 3rd down too, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and look at it. The Jets really shot themselves in the foot. And the Steelers are too good of a coach team to make those types of mistakes consistently on. Jets had their opportunities. Like, I think the Steelers can even grow from where they're at right now. I'm not saying, you're a bad team or anything like that. I think the Jets fucked up this game and the Steelers took advantage of our mess ups. Yeah. Yeah, look, I don't know. It sucks. It really sucks. You guys are going to be a good team the rest of the way out, and I think you're only going to get better. So shit sucks from a Jet fan's perspective. Thank you for tuning in. All right, let's go over to Daniel. Let's see what Daniel has to say.
Hey, what's up, Ryan? How you doing?
Shit sucks. I feel like our season's lost.
Yeah, I know. I kind of feel in the same place, but I have some topics that I want to talk about.
Sure.
First
Fire
of
away.
all, I think that the way you change this energy is about the players really wanting to win. They didn't
Mhm.
fight for each other.
Mhm.
Like when Numa got hurt, I thought they were going to be more aggressive because you don't want to see a teammate falling down. And I don't know, man. I
Mhm.
hope he's okay. And you need to win. And the players are the ones who are in the field, and they need to do anything to win. I mean, it's as simple as that. Ulbrich was not the answer, and if the reason of firing Salah was because he was about to fire Aaron's coffee guy, Hackett, I mean, this team is just doomed. The team
Do you,
is like trying to do anything to keep Rodgers happy, and
Mhm.
he doesn't even know what he wants. And yeah, tell me, Ryan.
Let me ask you this. Do you want Rodgers back next year, or do you want to hit the reset button at this point and just go new coaching staff, new everything?
Yeah, I think it's we need to be part ways with Rodgers. He's not the kind of quarterback that you want in the team. He's not the leader to cheer up and bring energy up to his teammates once they made a mistake. I never see Aaron reaching for Garrett after the mistake. That's just bad leadership, man. And thank you for having me here.
Dude, Daniel, thanks so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. I've got I miss Mark Sanchez on the line. Let's hear from him. I miss Mark Sanchez. Love it. I do too.
Hey, how's it going, my pilot?
Dude, this shit sucks. I want to feel like we have a chance. We just fucking shit the bed so hard to start this season.
I have been mad since the Denver Broncos game.
Yep.
Wasn't excited for the trade, only because Joe Bengino says, whatever you change in this facility, in this organization,
it stays the
it's
same.
going to be the same old Jets.
Yep. That's what
And
it
it's
feels like.
horrible. But, I'm going to... This is a Garrett Wilson jersey. I taped Corley's last name, and now I'm taping Adams' last name on this.
Can't justify spending any more on jerseys and shit when it's going to be consistently bullshit like this.
It almost tape is probably more expensive than a Jets jersey right now.
That's what it feels like. It's honestly what it feels like. This team just fucking eats the ever living life out of you. No, you had happiness coming in. There's all this hope, and just grind it to a pulp. Just grind it down.
So, I got a question.
Shoot,
my pilot. Is it Woody?
Yeah, I mean it's he's been the only one that's been consistent for so long. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Like Garrett missing causing the interception, Rodgers throwing the bad interception, poor decision. That's on him.
Yeah.
The energy definitely felt flat. That's probably on coaching as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know the right move.
Hey, go Jets. That's all
Dude.
I got to say.
I miss Mark Sanchez. Thank you so much for the call. It's a great name. I've got LA Jet fan Dave and Sharif coming up. Peter says, thanks for these therapy sessions. They need to tighten up Woody, need to hire a psychologist, motivational speaker, light some fire under them. Yeah, we need Green Bean to start giving the halftime speech. That's what's going to have to happen. Latif, come on, y'all. Coaching is not the best. But even with a better coach, it does not fix the culture problem. The Steelers move as a unit. The Jets don't. The shit is annoying. They could have won. I mean, look, it's 100% a top-down culture thing for the Jets. Like, I think Woody Johnson is the consistent 25-year mark of shit that's just gone wrong. But then Rodgers underperforming, Garrett underperforming, the offensive line underperforming, the defense just getting fucking decimated by injuries. Like, there's a lot of issues with this team right now. And it starts with our best players not performing. Sauce has not performed. Quinnen has not performed. Rodgers has not performed consistently. Garrett has not performed consistently. Brees not performed consistently. I'm sure I'm missing other players. Tyron looking like dog shit consistently. It has been a consistent problem here for us. All right, let's go over to LA Jet Dave. LA. How you doing, Dave?
I've been better. Yeah. You know, you come out, you start looking good. You come right down the field, and you get a touchdown. Next thing you know, the blocked extra point on the second touchdown. Oh, offside. Finally, there's not all these penalties. It's not a shit show, circus show. And you get a 2-point conversion. Okay, you're feeling good about yourself. And then this guy, I mean, in a normal non-circus NFL team, when you have the ball at the end of the half and you're getting the ball back to receive, you're like, oh, you might get a 2-for-1, and you're feeling good about yourself. But no, last week we have the Hail Mary to end the half, circus show, which was good. And then this week, the guy throws the interception. And just like everyone's saying, it sucks the blood out of you. It sucks because right when that happens, like if like the other guy said, if it was the Chiefs or some regular team, and then guess what? We research Russell Wilson's career. We save his career right now. No one's even talking about that. The last time he was on the field was a year ago. And the Pittsburgh fans were all like, oh, get him out of here, get him out of here. Of course we researched his career, just like we gave birth to Tom Brady's career. The last time this team won was when I met you in person, bro, in New York. It's unbelievable, bro.
Dude, week fucking 3.
Bro, like, you content creators deserve better. Us Jets fans,
you fucking fans deserve better. This is bullshit.
Fireman Ed, poor guy, he went to the game. You know what I'm saying? All the Jets fans there. This shit is it's not fair, and it's not right, dude. This organization is a clown show right now, bro.
LA Jet fan Dave. I appreciate the clown show comment because it just fits so well with your alter ego. All right, let's go over to my buddy Sharif. How you doing, dude?
What's going on?
This shit sucks. I'm done with this bullshit.
Yeah. Man, I've been a Jets fan going on 42 years, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Born a Jets
you got me
fan,
by
bro.
a few years. I'll be 35 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. In 3, you a Scorpio, huh?
Hell yeah. Yep.
Yeah. My birthday the 3rd of November. That's what's up, Team Scorpio.
On the 4th.
Word.
Happy early
The
birthday.
4th, word, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Same to you, word, man. The energy you feel, bro. I mean, I told this to Boy Green, man. I told it to Jake Asman. He got pissed with me. But I'm gonna tell you, man, it's deeper than football, right? The biggest mistake Woody made was firing Coach Saleh. The timing, the way he did, how he did it. Coach Saleh ain't have a legit chance, bro. He built that team. He made the Jets back relevant. He handpicked those players, those defensive players. He built that defensive scheme. Then you put his protege at head coach for firing him for representing his country. Because that's why Robert Saleh really got fired for
Well,
wearing his patch across the pond.
he wore the same patch last year, though. That's the only thing. So I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
but
necessarily
last year, what was going on wasn't going on. Is you gotta.
That's fair.
It's deep, bro. Israel is not winning. They're getting their ass kicked. The Great Britain and United States helped them, and they're still getting their ass kicked. And
I'm
he
gonna
had the
keep this
nerve.
away from politics. I appreciate it. Just want to steer the conversation closer to the Jets. Brandon comes in with the super chat. Brandon says, "I don't know how much I can do this, man. I brought my kids into their crapshoot. You can only be so dedicated. You can only have shit talked to you for so long. Woody, stop the heartache and sell the team." Dude, Brandon, I feel the same way. Our damn Jets, like I'll get my little daughter like in a bear hug, and she'll be like, Daddy, I'm stuck. And I'll be like, all right, what do you got to say? And she goes, Jets, Jets, Jets. Like, that's what she's got to say to get out of it. Now I feel like I'm like scarring this kid because she's going to be a Jet fan. The Jets make it very hard to have fans. When you consistently lose over and over and over again, it's not like the Giants, who have won 4 Super Bowls in the last 45 years or 50 years, whatever it's been, 80, whatever. They have a consistent pool of just good players and respectable players, and they win Super Bowls, and the Jets just can't get it right, and we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, we still only have one 4,000-yard passer. That's a thing. Jets haven't made the playoffs since 2010. That's a thing. Like, it's a top down. It's a Woody Johnson all the way on down. Fucking everything. Douglas, fans blame Woody, but I'm old enough to remember things being as dysfunctional under Leon Hiss. Disband this joke franchise. I divorced my ex for far less emotional pain and suffering than this. Douglas, bring in the fun. I have enjoyed that. I enjoyed that comment. All right, let's go over to I Miss Mark Sanchez. I want to hear from you, dude. What you got going on, brother? I miss Mark Sanchez.
Hey, I know I was already on here, but I need to hear, what the fuck can we do? Excuse my language. Dude,
I don't know. They need some kind of energy, and I think it's on the players at this point. It's got to be on the players. It's got to be Rodgers, and they got to start winning. It's you start with one game, and then you build off that one game. But 8 of 10 is probably what you're going to need. You're probably going to need 10 and 7, and that is a fucking tall task when you are 2 and 5.
For real. But how? I'm more looking forward to next year. Honestly,
that sucks. It sucks.
That's
kind of where I'm at right now. But even if Rodgers decides to come back, like, how confident am I feeling in him at this point? Like,
exactly.
I wish this was year 1 with Rodgers. The fact that we had our season stolen last year and we're going through the growing pains right now is like incredibly frustrating. And I think I get the feeling he wants to play. I don't think he wants to go out on this type of note. But I don't know what coaching situation we go into. Like, is it a Vrabel? I think he's going to play for the Jets. I really do.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen next year. I mean, I hope it does, because I would like to run it back. I don't want to just throw my hands up.
Yeah, I wanted to give up last year when he got hurt. But
we get the hope of like Zach could turn it around. He could win just enough games for Rodgers to come back, and then it'll be a magical run. And they fucking caught me hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. Every fucking.
It's horrible, man. It's very sad.
It's fucking terrible. I hate it. I hate it. Sanchez,
depressing.
You've been ejected from the cockpit. I've got our buddy Mike on the line. I'm going to go over to him in just a moment. I just want to scroll through. I think I got another super chat in here. Peter says, bring back Rex Ryan. He can fix this defense. Look, I think Rex has been out of the league long enough. As much as I want to love the former Rex Ryan Jets and whatnot, I think it's just been a little long for him. I'd rather get an offensive-minded head coach in here. Ryan S. says, team just has a losing culture. 3 years of Zach's poor play gave them 3 years of excuses to underperform, and they've never fixed that mentality. Even with it was really 2 years, right? It was like the 1 year of bad Zach, and then it was, we got Rodgers, we have an opportunity, the culture's turning around, and then he gets hurt, so you get the second year of Zach with a lot of the young players, and then it just doesn't click soon enough, and they don't hold Hackett accountable. I think that's on Rodgers. I think that's on Woody. My understanding is Saleh was not allowed to make certain moves. That's what I've heard, and I think that's what a lot of us probably felt. But look, I don't know the right move. I don't know the right move for this damn team. I think the Jets need to figure out a way to get some kind of a spark, and it just doesn't seem like this team is up for the task on any sort of consistent basis. It feels like we're consistently inconsistent, which is just driving me up a goddamn wall at this point. All right, let's head over to Mike. I want to get Mike's thoughts. How you feel, Mike?
You're right about that, the last part there. I don't think Woody Johnson is the worst owner in the league. I know people are going to disagree with me. I think he just needs to get more hands off and let the people that he put in power actually do their freaking job. I think he steps on JD's toes. I think JD's a great you know how much I hate JD. I actually think he's a good GM, but I think he's been handicapped by Woody Johnson so much that he can't actually show what he could and couldn't do. And I think that's a problem there. I think if Woody Johnson stepped back and actually just let these guys do their job, it'd be better. Because I feel like a lot of times Woody gets involved and then it just fucks everything up and it creates a lot more problems, and then everyone's confused and we don't know who's running the clown show. Is it Rodgers, Saleh, JD, Hack? We have no idea who to blame, so we blame everyone, and then people get fired and we're like, well, maybe we shouldn't have fired them, maybe we should have. It creates a circus clown show that continues to go on. As much as I don't like JD, if Woody Johnson fires him, get ready for Doug Peterson. Like, 'cause holy shit, that's the guy. It's written all over the Jets to take some terrible coach who sucks and then pitch you that that's the guy. And we're going to win the offseason like we always do. We win the offseason. That's Woody Johnson's big thing. Win the offseason, tell you how great the team is, and then underperform. That's his, biggest mantra.
It feels like Belichick is poised to come here, and I'm fucking dreading.
I can't. He's too old. I might be. He's too old.
Yeah. I agree. I don't want to see it, but it feels like Woody at 80 years old is going to want the best shot. We need a winner. We need a spark. We need someone who knows how to. It's like it's pointing me directly to that, and I'm fucking terrified.
I know. I'm just so scared because I'm like, I think Joe Douglas could do a good job. I just don't know how much he's actually in control of because of Woody. So I get mad at Joe Douglas for all these moves, but then I'm also like, is Woody pulling strings that I can't see, and this is fucking everything up? So that sucks. I do want Ben Johnson though. I'm with you on that one.
Dude, fingers crossed. Your lips to God's ears. Mike, thank you so much for the call. Let's go over to Sam. I want to hear what you have to say, Sam. Sam, how you doing? Microphone. Can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. My bad.
Boom. It's all good.
It's just mind-numbing at this point. I was just watching O'Leary's video, and he was saying he didn't have words, and I completely agree with it.
Yep.
I was listening to before the game. I just happened to come across Rex Ryan's Hard Knocks speech on Twitter. He didn't want him to play like a slapdick team, but here we are playing like a slapdick team. Not the team we can be. We can be a team with, you can have all the supercars in the garage you want, but as soon as you have someone that doesn't know how to drive, you ain't going anywhere, and that's what it feels like.
Yeah, dude, we just have so many great weapons. We have so much talent on this team, like stud after stud after stud across the board, and it just feels like we're not a team. It's a poorly coached team. It's a poorly energized team, and I think Rodgers shares a lot of blame in this. I think the players have to take accountability at some point. Like, people are open. There's opportunities. We're not blocking well enough. I don't know. What do you think the plan is going into the offseason?
I think they got to clean it out everywhere. I think you got to tell Rodgers it's time to go. It didn't work out. You got to hope you can keep your young guys, Garrett, Sauce. You hope you can keep them all around, but who knows if they're going to want another year of this crap. And then I say almost just rock it with Tyrod for 1 year, and then just draft the best player available. I know it sounds bad, but I don't feel
Ouch.
comfortable taking another like quarterback in the top 5 picks of the draft again. It just hasn't worked out for us. We
Would
got to
you
get a
try to
good
run it back
coordinator.
with a different coach? Like same players, different
Depending
coach?
depending on the coach. Like Vrabel's the guy I could get behind.
Mm-hmm.
If somehow Stefanski breaks free from Cleveland, I'd be on board with him too.
Interesting. I like it, Sam. I like it. Thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. I've got Rez on the line. Give me 1 second. Dante says, I do not want inexperience as a head coach. No Ben Johnson. I don't think Ben Johnson's going to want to come here. I think that's where we're at right now. My gut feeling is it's a Vrabel move. As much as I fucking hate it, I think Belichick is squarely in play. Stefanski would be really interesting. If you can get him out of Cleveland. Vrabel feels like it makes the most sense from like a continuity standpoint. But we'll see where it goes. Let's go over to Rez. Rez, how you doing, dude?
Hey, what's up, man?
This shit sucks.
Yeah, we got our asses kicked, dude, but we go from being all-out coverage secondary to third stringers, fourth stringers. I mean, to be honest with you, energy or whatever the case may be, but I'm more concerned on what's going to happen next week with our coverages. Yeah, we got the Patriots, but we got to actually figure this thing out. Like, okay, we don't have that interior presence, so we definitely have to keep up with that standard of who's in the backfield, who's actually covering. Like, that blown coverage by Sauce, I mean, he's the only guy back there. It was a nightmare, man. It's Russell Wilson. So I just wanted to ask, like, who do you think is going to be our starting guys back there? Because Carter's out. Reed, I don't know. It's a groin. It's soft tissue. And then I'm not giving up, man. I'm not. So it is what it is. I'm going on to next week.
8-2
and
is
the
still
next week.
possible. 8
Right,
and
man.
2 could happen. It's
Yeah.
definitely a reach at this point, and I feel like we have the horses in the stable to do it. I think it's just a matter of finding the spark to do it, which is what's driving me mad, because I think if you stack this team up against a lot of other teams, you're like, okay, that quarterback, Jets have the advantage. That running back room, Jets have the advantage. Wide receiver room, Jets have the advantage. Like, on most of this stuff, I would say coaching is not the advantage most likely, but Rodgers is underperforming. Garrett Wilson is underperforming. It's not. I can't blame it all on coaching and all on talent acquisition. At some point, it has to fall on the players, and this just fucking sucks. I just want to win some fucking football games.
That's really it. 4 L's, and then we did great against the Eagles last year with the secondary we had, which was makeshift. This one, I don't know what the fuck was this, and I really hope, man, that we get some type of sauce back there, something.
Dude,
Pun
we
intended.
need it. Rez, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, boys and girls, Jets lose a lot to not much. Aaron Rodgers underperforms, throws 2 interceptions, 1 bad throw. The other, Garrett Wilson, pops it up. 14 points scored off that, takes at least, I would think, 3 points off the board from the Jets if you assume they go down and kick that field goal. But either way, 14 points going towards the benefit of the Steelers. This is a team that lacks energy, is a team that lacks focus, that is getting minimal performance out of its best players, and it is driving me up a fucking wall. We have spent so much time analyzing this team, watching this team, looking at all the players they could bring in, and it feels like it's too little too late because they just cannot gel together in a fast enough time. Based on Rodgers' press conference, I would say there's, or not even just Rodgers, but Ulbrich and Rodgers. There's a little bit of like, hey, playmakers didn't perform. And that felt like it was probably more of a shot at Rodgers, or I guess it could be a little shot at Rodgers, but more of a shot at Garrett than anything else. I think Rodgers not knowing what to do with the energy almost feels like more of a shot at the coach or the culture of the team. And I'm not sure how you fix that, because Rodgers doesn't feel like very much of a rah-rah guy. I felt like blaming it on energy and like him saying, oh, I'm usually dialed in for Sunday nights and like energized for this. I feel like that comes off as like he's trying to scapegoat it to someone else, and it's not all on him because he's normally up to snuff. Now, I could be misreading that, and that could very much be saying, hey, you know, normally I feel up to Sunday Night Football, and it's just not the case. So I don't know. It's really frustrating. I don't know where this team goes from here. It's going to be a long fucking season. We got 10 games left. Jets got to go 8-2 to have a shot. I will see you guys tomorrow for my show with Dom C. I'll do the call-in show tomorrow. I want to get your thoughts after a day of fresh thinking. And then we got Talking Jets on Tuesday. David, I see your super chat. Thank you so much. He says, is it conceivable that if Zach was our quarterback this season, could have a better record at this point? As crazy as it sounds, with Rodgers, bad play, I don't know. Well, look, they had equal stats for like the last 6 weeks or whatever it was, I think dating back to last year, Rodgers and Zach. I don't think so. They provide different levels of frustrating. Like Rodgers, I think we would have seen more bad games from Zach. And I think the games we did lose might have been lost by like a lot more. Like Zach wasn't very we weren't usually we lost by a touchdown or we lost by a field goal. It's like, no, we lost by 21 points. Like the game we played today felt closer than most of the games we played with Zach Wilson. So I'm not really on board with that. There's some hope that like a more mobile quarterback would have had us probably at least 2 more wins. I would think. I think you win the Denver game and you have a shot versus the Vikings. Bills, maybe. This game, maybe. I don't know. It's frustrating. I'm tired. It's 1 o'clock. I'm going to fucking bed. This is Jets Talk. Signing off.
One, two, three.